Well, hey guys, it's Thorzax, and I'm back, and I want to welcome you back to another episode of Bullet Casting. And today, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and we're going to cast the 240 grain Lee round nose flat point. I think it's a flat point. It's just a round nose. But anyway. Brand new mold. I went ahead and I prepped it. I took the edge off of that side there, so it'll close without making the drag mark and all that. And anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and flux and melt now. So let's get going on that. Now, when you're fluxing the melt, you have to realize that this stuff has a potential to catch on fire. And the more that you put in there, the more it's going to splatter around and it's going to make a mess, and you're going to have like little shoots of flames and stuff coming out of there, and it's that's where this handle comes in very, very handy. Very handy. So here we go. There we go. We've got a little bit of bullet lube on top of there. Bullet lube is just as good as any other type of flux that you might want to use. If you can see the top of the melt, you can already see this stuff starting to burn off and coming up to the top. You want to stir that stuff up, and you want to get it nice and incorporated down in there. You want to scrape down the sides, you want to push that down inside the melt, that dross that's on the top. Now I got a high velocity fan over here, and it's blowing the fumes and stuff away from me, so I'm good and safe and everything. But as you can see, this is what I'm talking about. That's all that oxidization that comes from previous castings. That is the stuff that you need to get rid of. That's what clogs up your melt. That's what gets down in the stem, and it causes the flow to degrade, and next thing you know, you're just messing around. I got better things to do than mess around. I want to get this nice and clean. So anyway, put a little more in there. Matter of fact, let's put that in there. All right, there we go. Now we're talking. Now we're cooking with fire, guys. Yes, this is it. Yeah, you wanna just get that stuff down in the melt, and what it is that, see, that dross will attract other particulates of impurities that are in the melt, to it, and it'll stick to the dross that comes up to the top. So that's the reason why you want to incorporate this. Get it down in there. Just get it down in there. Scrape down the the stem of your spout here. You want to scrape that down, because stuff sticks to that too. You want to get that nice and clean. You want to try to get in behind there and scrape down the side, and scrape it up off the bottom. Just get that stuff all floating around in there, doing its happy thing. That's what you want to do. See, that's what I'm talking about, guys. It's a lot of dirt, That's just, all that is just impurities and just garbage you just don't need in your melt. What do I do with my slide pot again? I'm going to have to get a bill on that thing. Well, I had it around here. What do I do with it? Well, we're gonna keep moving on, guys. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna let that get to us. We're gonna find another means to get the slag out of our pot. So let's take an old coffee can here. That right there. I'm gonna get rid of that stuff. Nice clean material, guys. That's what we want. Makes our casting go by so much easier. Yeah, you give it another good, good scraping down, you know. I think the one thing that a lot of guys do is they get cheap, you know. They go down and get some wheel weights, and you know, they don't take time to sort it, and you know, it may have some zinc ones in there and stuff. And so what they do is they get the melt down and everything like that, and everything that was wheel weight is already melted down, you know, of the lead, tin, and antimony, and all that's left is the zinc. And what they try to do is say, well, you know, it's not melting fast enough or whatever. So they turn up the heat on their melt, and then they end up incorporating zinc into their melt, and they end up ruining it. It really is a eye-opening experience when you get zinc into your melt. It's not good. It's a contaminant, and once you put that in there and it melts and it bonds molecularly with the lead, you'll never get it back out. You know, you just ruined you know, perfectly good casting material, you know, by trying to get cheap and, you know, trying to see if you can melt those down. Maybe they're a harder, you know, they're a harder piece of lead. That's it. Yeah, they're a harder piece of lead, so I have to turn up the melt. Guys, just skim it off. You know, if you got little zinc ones in there, just skim them off. You know, don't turn your melt up. Like I said, vigorously. You want to be careful when you do this because you don't want this stuff to start splashing around. You don't want to have a little spout of lead come out of that thing because you're stirring it too hard. But you want to vigorously, you know, stir the melt. Bring that stuff up to the top. Clean your material. All it takes is just one little piece of garbage, and next thing you know, you're screwing around with a spout, and you're just makes a long day at it. Well, hey guys, get that out of there. One of the best battle implements that I have is this spoon. I have made and fluxed thousands of pounds with just this one spoon. I drilled 3 holes in it. You know, this is just an old stainless steel spoon, and like I said, this bracketing material, you know, you can get this down there at Home Depot pretty cheap. And you just cut it to length, and what that does is that keeps you away from the melt, you know, while it's flaming on. You know, I mean, once you put the wax in there and say like it touches off and it flashes off and starts to burn, you know, the paraffin, you're not there where the fire is. You can stand back here and, you know, you can just stir the melt, you know, to stay away from it. So anyway, guys, that pretty much sums it up right now. That was the skimming of the dross. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and take the molds, and I'm going to go ahead and just let them do their thing, guys. I'm going to get them up there on the, get them up there over the melt, have them start warming up, get these things up to temperature. Some guys use a torch. Now, I've done that in the past, you know, to kind of heat them up. The one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to overheat them, and which is really easy to do with a torch. Another thing is too is that when you put the torch on it, okay, and you bring it up to temperature real fast like that, you know, that's not good on the mold. I mean, you know, what you want. I've always been this guy who subscribes to bring things up to temperature over a gradual amount of time. Sure, it takes a little bit of time. You're going to wait, and you know, that's it. And you know, that's all part of casting. Now, what you can do is you can get a little hot plate and set it off to the side. You know, I have one. I don't have it out here right now, but you set the mold on the hot plate and you turn the hot plate on. You just take an old pie pan or something like that and put it over the hot plate so this doesn't have direct connection with the burner, and you just let this thing sit there on that hot plate and get it all nice and warmed up, and then you use it. But if you use a torch, knock yourself out. I don't particularly use a torch anymore. I've done it in the past, and I really don't see the advantage of it. I mean, you're being in a hurry is what it is, and you want to get going. And so there you go. That's my take on it. That's just me. This is about the way I cast. It's not the way everybody else casts. And another thing too, any of the methods that you see here in the video is the way that I do it. You guys can do it any way you want to. This is just, showing you how I do things. Anything that I do here is not really a recommendation. It's more about the information that I've collected about doing it, and this is the way I do it. Okay. So anyway, I'll be back in a little bit. Let this mold go ahead and heat up, and I'll be back. So be back there in about 15-20 minutes. Until then, guys.